Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Welcome to Ask Rob and Rob, the staple of your Tuesday where you get your property questions answered. We've got questions this week from Dom and Sabrina. We're itching to answer them for you. But first, we just have to squeeze in a quick reminder of how to get in a question of your own.
You can call in on 013 808 00035 and you can leave us a voicemail there. And don't worry if you mess it up, just record another one. Record 5, 6, wherever it takes. Just get that question in. No pressure. Or alternatively, you can go and leave a message via our website. And you can do that via propertyhub.net/ask. Either way, it can't be that hard because we're a few hundred of these in now. And luckily, Dom has stepped up and delivered this great question.
Hi, Rob. Dom here. Listened to the podcast about a year and a half. And thank you so much for all the advice. I've just completed today on a property, a 2-bed flat in South London with one other in the building. Got its own front door and a little bit of outsourced space. I agreed the price back in January, long before COVID. And once the crisis took more of a hold, I renegotiated on the price. And luckily for me, the whole chain agreed to it and we moved forward even during this time. It was quite a mammoth effort, but I've been listening to you guys a lot and you've encouraged me to negotiate hard and I really appreciate that. My question to you was just regarding house prices at the moment. I have a new house bought at a discounted price due to COVID. I'm flexible on where I live and I could possibly move on. Would you suggest flipping this property early? It doesn't need much work, but in the current times with house prices creeping up, do you think it would be worth selling now, taking the cash and waiting a while till there's another dip? Just wanted your thoughts, as it was quite a unique situation as I've completed and agreed a new price during lockdown and during this crisis. Thanks for the good work.
It's tempting, right, Dom? In such a short space of time, you've made at least a paper profit and something that you can realise and then put that cash to better use, possibly, moving forward. Now, I don't see any issue with you flipping the property and taking that gain if you feel you can put it to better use. But just bear in mind of the transaction costs. Don't just look at the paper profit. Remember, it's going to be eaten into by those transaction costs as well. But if you do all that, run the numbers, and it still looks like it's worth the bother, even after the short space of time, then great, go ahead with it. But don't do it on the expectation of a dip, because there might not be a dip, or certainly not in the short term, and then you're sitting on cash that suddenly the market continues to go, you're priced out from the type of property you want to go for. While there might be a mild dip at some point in the short to medium term, it's far from a guarantee. I know some people are talking about a crash, and we have also talked about a crash, but in our prediction episodes, and please don't take this as it's going to happen, but in our prediction episodes, we see that a good few years down the line, and preceding that is a boom. Now, whether that happens or not, again, you shouldn't make your decisions based on what we think. You shouldn't invest on the assumption that a boom is about to happen, but you also shouldn't invest on the assumption that a dip is about to happen, because you could get it very wrong, and if you do, it could cost you. You should always invest on present market conditions, understanding what's happening now, and making the best investments possible. But Rob, you may have a completely different point of view.
I agree that it's a risky move. The first thing to say is, Dom, well done. I mean, it's brilliant that you managed to negotiate that discount. And even if you decide to stay put, that discount's still there. You've still earned it. It's still going to be useful to you at some point in the future. So that's fantastic. I think Rob's laid out the situation really well. It is a gamble. And if you feel strongly about what the future is going to look like and you want to roll the dice a bit, then why not? Investing is all about coming to a view based on what information you've got and acting based on that conviction. But you do need to be aware that it is a gamble for the reasons that Rob said. And it's complicated a little bit more because this was a home that you bought to live in, by the sounds of it. So presumably it's somewhere that you would be happy to live. And that just puts on a bit more pressure, because then it means that not only have you got to have the market move in the way that you think it will, but you then need to be able to go and repeat the same trick on another home that you would want to live in yourself, not just one that would make a good investment. So if it were me, I would stay put and just feel quietly pleased to myself that I managed to get that discount. But that doesn't mean it's what you should do. What you should do, as Rob's already said, is listen to all the different opinions out there, come to your own view, and then act based on that. But whatever you decide to do, good luck.
So thank you, Dom. And next up, we've got a question from Sabrina.
Hi, Rob and Rob. My name's Sabrina. I'm calling from Newcastle. I first got hooked to your guys' content through Rob Dees' complete guidebook, and I pretty much tune in every week now, and it's definitely been a highlight of 2020. So thank you so much. I really enjoy the podcasts. I've asked various mortgage brokers, solicitors and accountants, and I still can't get a definite answer to this question. I'm a first-time buyer and want to know, if I invested in a buy-to-let through a limited company, would that preserve my first-time buyer status for when I wanted to purchase my first personal residential home? And if not, would I have to pay additional rate stamp duty, or could I pay basic rate as if it was one home I owned, just not my first home? I hope that made sense. Thanks very much.
Sabrina, thank you for the question. Unfortunately, I can't match it up with an answer that you're probably going to like very much, because the answer is no. Even if you buy your first property through a limited company, that counts against you personally when it comes to the stamp duty surcharge. Basically, when it comes to stamp duty, whatever you think of, the answer is no. We get a lot of questions with people proposing different scenarios, and in every case that we've seen so far, they've thought of it in the rules and it's not going to help you out. Basically, you always get looked at as an individual. So if you own a property already, whatever it is, wherever it is, whatever structure you hold it within, it still counts as one that you own personally. Therefore, any subsequent property you have to pay the surcharge on. So generally speaking, the best thing to do is to make the first property you buy the most expensive property you buy, because then you're paying the surcharge on cheaper properties. Therefore, the surcharge is smaller in the future. Often that works out for people because they do want to buy their residential home first. That tends to be the most expensive. And then having done that, the rules do allow you to replace your residential home in future with another one without paying the surcharge on future residential purchases. So looking strictly at the stamp duty side, that is the best way of doing it. But that is purely looking at the stamp duty side. A lot of people, for very good reasons, do want to buy buy-to-lets before they're residential, or perhaps don't want to own their residential property at all. And those considerations can easily outweigh the stamp duty side of it. So you have to look at everything as a whole and not just be led by the tax. So Sabrina, sorry it's not great news for you on that one, but good luck making that first purchase, whichever one you decide to make.
So that's us done for this week. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, Sabrina. We'll be back with Ask Rob and Rob on Tuesday. And of course, it's not long now. It's nearly here. 2 more sleeps and you get the Property Podcast. So until then, take care, everyone. Have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.